back, everyone. Episode 11. I'm DJ Dilworth.
And I'm Simon Little.
And this is What a Load of Bulls, thanks to the Bulls Academy. Simon, how was your week, buddy?
Yeah, it was good, DJ. By the sounds of it, I think you had a pretty rough week. You're a little bit congested and a little bit stuffed up there by the sounds of it. But
yeah, I did have a long weekend.
I'm glad you've fronted up to make sure the podcast keep rolling through anything, DJ. We'll keep putting the content out there.
We'll try, mate. I was scared for a while there. I think I remember texting you and saying, just make sure you tell the listeners that I love them, because I didn't think I was going to make it. But, here we are, mate. And yeah, as you can say, the accent's hard enough to understand, but being a bit congested makes it that bit tougher. So, yes, good. not much went on here for the week. All five of us were crook. That's translating for the UK members. That's sick.
Yeah.
But, yeah, mate, it was a bit of a rough week there. Kids were in and out of school, in and out of bed. It was just, it's just a bit of a rough one, mate, but it is what it is. So what about you, mate? How'd you get on?
Long weekend. So unfortunately I was working at the weekend. So podcasting is not my full-time gig. Might surprise you, DJ, but I do have a normal job, and that was the weekend. And Monday I had off, but I was daddy daycare on Monday. So, but that was good. Spend time with Ellie. So, was not a very exciting weekend, but Monday made up for it. Yep.
Yeah, nice. It's always good. Always good to have that time, especially when they're little like that and they can't talk back to you. Wait till they get to 9 and 10 and they start talking back to you.
Look forward to those times. Yeah,
gets a lot of fun there. Zoe and Leah, if you're listening, I've just told everybody. Anyway, mate, so the Gary interview went off pretty well last week.
Yeah, I think it was good. So far, DJ, that's our biggest numbers so far on the podcast. So definitely the Gary interview and the Razor interview were definitely well received. So obviously that's something that people want to hear from, is our elite bowlers and how their minds work and how they operate on the green and off the green as well. So it was good. It was a good interview, I thought, and got some insights into the way Gary operates.
It certainly was. Mate, can I just make a request that you cut that bit out about being the biggest numbers, because I know he's going to come back to me with that. So can we let's cut that out? He'd
be looking for a few more cans of Coke, DJ, and whatever you offered him for that interview.
He keeps sending these random lot of numbers and then writing BSB and account number beside it. I don't know what he's trying to get that. But
nothing about that.
It was good, and it's got a lot of interest from the guys back at home as well. Seen a few of the legends of our game back at home liking the sport, like James Gaston and that, so it was pretty good.
Yeah, that was good to see those numbers rack up there for our listeners out there. So yeah, it was good.
Speaking of numbers, we got our biggest response yet from a social media post yet, mate. That infamous question of, if you had your choice, what would you change if you could for the rules? So give us some figures on how that went, mate. We got a lot of reach and a lot of traction out of that one. We've been laughing for 2 weeks about this one.
Yeah, so for anyone who didn't see it, we posted on social media regarding that question that DJ just said, and we reached just over 26,000 people, DJ, with that post. And of those 26,000 people that viewed our post or interacted with it, we got 1,137 comments up till today. So that was running probably for about a week. But I remember messaging you, DJ, and I think after one day we had reached over 600 or 700 comments in 24 hours. So it was it's a massive debate on that question, and it certainly got people on the social media putting their 2 pence worth in on that question, which I thought was really good. Actually, we obviously got a wide variety of comments, from the really good comments to the really silly comments. That's to be expected on social media. That's okay. Yeah. But I'd like to put out a thank you to all those people who actually took a bit of time and put effort into their responses and comments, and it was
helped our egos that a little bit more.
Well, maybe yours it did, but I just wanted some content out of it, really. It was a wide variety of responses, and it was from all sorts, DJ. Not just, we asked about a rule change, but a lot of people just went on a few rabbit holes on
they did
different topics, in terms of, a lot of it was conditions of play, DJ, and also equipment that's used, the types of bowls that's used, surfaces, and yeah, all sorts, DJ. So we're going to delve into a little bit of that today on the podcast, and the hot topics that came up regularly across a lot of the comments. We'll have a look at those and sort of the top 3, 4, or 5. But also we'll have a little bit of a laugh, I think, with some of the silly ones, and I might chuck a few of those at you. But I kind of scanned down all the comments and collated a bit of a spreadsheet kind of thing, that the types of comments we got. So we'll delve into that.
If anything, mate, it showed that we are a very opinionated sport.
Most so definitely, definitely.
And everybody likes to have their opinion, and it certainly was, mate. It got people talking around the clubs and on social media, like we talked about, mate. So, before we move on, let's go for it. Then, what was some of those changes that the people around the sport wanted to see?
Well, speaking of changes, like one of the highly talked about topics was changing positions, DJ, throughout the game, which I'm kind of open to. I don't mind that. What about you? Like, a lot of it was
different.
Yeah, if during the game, if you could swap a lead to a skip or a third to a second, what do you think? How do you think that would go?
Oh, you could definitely work it. I mean, I think if anything, that's what the BPL has showed with their substitution rule. You don't see it too often happening mid-end or anything like that, but it's certainly that's one of the better ones. It adds an extra dimension to the game.
Yeah. Didn't mention about BPL and substitutes, but didn't one of the BPL games, didn't Alex Marshall play the lead bowl first and tried to ditch the jack? He played one bowl.
And then walked up the other end and finished it off.
Stepped in and played the rest, and then he walked up the other end, as you said, and then he had the last bowl. So he had the first bowl of the end and the last bowl of the end.
Yeah, so it certainly makes an interesting one, but it'd be interesting trying to work that in pennants. I don't think you could do it that way, like the Brisbane Pirates did in that particular instance. I think you'd have to do it after the end. So you would, and you'd have to discuss and go, or maybe there's like two, perhaps you've got 2 sessions, say after 7 ends, after 14 ends, right? You're allowed to make that sub.
You're allowed to make that.
You're allowed to make a positional change.
Yeah,
I'm not so much a sub sitting on the sideline, because if you're looking at the broader part of the game, if you have 5 or 6 pennant sides going at one time, that's 5 or 6 people or more have to sit on the sideline. You wouldn't want that, but for me to be able to turn around to you and say, mate, you're skipping absolute tripe at the minute. Yeah. Get back down to lead. I'm taking the reins. I'm all for that, mate. All for that.
Yeah, that wouldn't happen in real life, DJ. But theoretically, yeah, I would definitely be up for that. I'd welcome that kind of change up to the game, and what's the harm in trying? I think if it doesn't work out and it's not well received, then we can always revert back to what it was previous. So I like that thinking in terms of changing positions, and as you said, maybe at the 7 end mark and 14 end mark, you can make those positional change, and not only if you're playing multiple rinks, how about swapping guys across rinks as well, not only within the rink. What about that?
You're adding more to it now, I suppose.
Yeah.
But by all means, everyone jump on
tactical.
Facebook. Follow the Club Maitland City Bowls page, because there might be a couple of tournaments coming up with some interesting formats.
We just got your new tournament for next year, DJ.
Oh, you never know. We might try it out with the members. I've been known to try a few different things out with the members. We play a couple of galas every year, and I've done things like if the lead gets 2 touches on an end, they get an extra point. That's one from back in the day. My dad brought that into a forwards tournament back in the short map back in the day. Yeah, brought that out. That's it. That was always an interesting one. Or one that I liked, actually, that got them all thinking, was if you kill the end. Okay, because I know a lot of people don't like this. Don't like the end killed. If you kill the end, the opposition respots the jack wherever they want in the confines of the rink.
Ooh, that's a thinker. Yeah.
There's plenty out there, but anyway, what else do we have from the members or from
another a lot of comments. This might have been one of the highest comments, close to it, top 3 anyway. Is the foot fault rule, DJ? That was spoke about a lot. Foot fault rule. Sorry, people are saying that a lot of people foot fault when they deliver the ball, and it's never ever brought up by an umpire. or opposition. What do you think about that one, DJ? A lot of people are saying about it should be enforced more, and if a lot of people are saying it should be done away with totally, the foot fault rule. It should just be you're standing on the mat, you deliver the ball. Doesn't matter whether the whole of your foot is over the mat or not.
Mate,
what do you think about that?
If anything it showed me is that this has become a lot more prominent in the last 7 years or so, right? There's a lot more photographs being taken at events, and there's a lot more live streaming coming at the events. And there's a lot more social media activity. I actually seen a post go up on one of our favorite pages there this week, and it was taken down within 15 minutes because this person had highlighted a lot of the top players that they believe were foot faulting and put all those photographs up. Look, mate, at the end of the day, the rule is there.
Yes.
All right? The rule is written. It's in crystal mark or whatever you call that rule book. It is there. I've played the game regularly since I was 12 years old.
Yep.
I have never seen a foot fault called in outdoor bowls.
Same.
Now, when we were younger in the short mat had a bit of a different rule, but we'll not go down that rabbit hole as you said. But I've seen it called there, but there's a lot of different elements to that rule there. However, I have not seen anyone call it in the outdoor. So whether that's because a lot of the players are pretty quick on the mat, you have to get that bang on exact. Yeah. That is a foot fault. And there's a lot of the top players seem to get pinged on social media, like I said, but I don't know. I think you got to modify that rule. I mean, if we're looking at rule changes, that's the one that's got to be modified. And I'm all for, I think one of the top players actually put it on there. It's one I've thought about before, was as long as you start on the mat and that whatever foot you stride out on gets fixed, I don't see what advantage you're really gaining, to be honest with you. I suppose if you use the corners of the mat, you get a different angle for a runner, maybe. But I've always looked back to it, and what really got me thinking about it was actually on a family holiday, mate, to the Lake District back in the day, and Dad took us down to the local park and we had a crack at Crown Green bowling. Yeah. Right? So I don't know too much about Crown Green, and I don't think too many around here know too much about Crown Green, but it's basically...
No, I would know nothing. Yeah.
It's not flat. The green's not perfectly flat, all right? Yeah. And they play in all directions. But have you ever seen the mat?
Is it a little disc, DJ?
It's a 5.5-inch diameter disc.
Okay, yeah.
Now, you have to foot fault on that based on the foot fault rule, all right? But surely if they can do that, we can look at something different. I don't know where the dimensions of the mat came from for us or why it is what it is, but it's just, we've all just grown up with it. It's never changed.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we need to change it, but if they're able to play Crown Green on just that little disc, then surely we can get away with, as long as you start with your foot on the mat.
Yeah.
And it's like any rule too. Like, people are going to try and find loopholes or advantages around it. Haven't played the game that long. I just don't know if there's enough of an advantage to be whinging about it all the time. But the whinging comes because the rule is there. So we've either got to look at the rule and change it, or the umpires have got to get a bit of backbone and start making calls.
Yeah,
we're going to see VAR. Are we going to see VAR in bowls? But is this what it's coming to, mate? Like, is the bunker going to flick a red light when Gary jumps off the mat and he's foot faulting on his backhand? Gary, I'm sorry for using it as an example, Gary. I'm not saying that you're foot fault, but you do get pinged a bit on social media. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but that's just one example, and I'll cop that criticism from him.
But cop those text messages. Yep.
It is a very, very hard one to call.
I think, DJ, that we do away with that rule. As you say, it should just be that as long as you start with one foot on the mat, it doesn't matter with the release of your ball whether you've got a whole foot over the mat or not. Like, I think that does away with ambiguity. And as you say, really, what advantage are you gaining by having half your foot off the mat when you release the ball? Your ball's traveling 20 to 30 meters down the green. What's half a foot advantage really over that distance? And as you say, it's near, like, in all the years that I've been playing as well, I've never seen a foot fault called on an outdoor ball screen. So what's the point in having that rule there if it never gets
the way it's written? 100%. The way it's written, it needs to be looked at. Definitely. But the thing is too, like even if somebody's bounding off the mat and landing, if you're a right-hander jumping off your right foot, landing on your left foot 2 meters up the green and delivering that ball, right?
Yeah.
If you want to be a player at all, you've got to do that every single time.
Yes. Yeah.
And you've got to do that consistently. So if you could do that, all the best to you.
Yeah.
Like some of the old stages are going to get upset by this, and it's just hard because the rule's written the way it is, and nobody ever calls it. So
yeah,
there's
I think you do away with the grey area and just change the rule. That would be our suggestion.
As long as you start with part of your foot on the mat, or you can't even say a percentage thing, because how do you determine what 50% of a foot is? Like, it's just
you just
as long as you start with your foot on, as long as you start
touching the mat.
Yeah. Or even majority of your foot or something like that. Yeah, something like that there. It needs to be looked at, because I'm sick of reading it on Facebook, Simon. I'm sick of it.
Let's change it. Let's get it changed, DJ. Let's get it changed.
Okay, so I'm not that
moving on. Yeah. So one of the other, we talked about changing positions, foot fault rule. Another one, which I think would be a really good change to the game, is placing jacks rather than leads, rolling jacks for the jack length.
All for it.
I would change that tomorrow.
Mate, if I could. Fantastic.
I think it would quicken up the game. So that's what we want to do. We want to quicken our game up. That's what we did in short mat. Yeah.
That's what we did in short mat growing up. Why not? It works. BPL's made it working.
BPL does
I wouldn't even worry about the markings on the green, as long as you're setting it between, the 2 meter mark, and you're not shorter than 21 meters or 23 meters in the UK. Yeah. I'm all for that. Absolutely all for that, because it will speed the game up.
Yep.
So it will. And it takes out all this rubbish of which players can and can't follow balls to try and speed the game up, which is another gripe of mine. But yeah, definitely. As you said, change that tomorrow. Change that one tomorrow.
Skip just places a jack. Whoever won the previous end, that Skip just places a jack wherever they want, as you say.
Lead puts the mat down.
Between
Skip puts
the minimum and the maximum length. Put it down. The lead puts the mat wherever he wants, and away you go. Just play your first ball.
Yeah,
I think that'll be a good change. That was talked a lot. There's a lot of comments about that one, especially from our elite bowlers. A lot of our elite bowlers who mentioned that, changing that. So obviously, I think that's leading from maybe playing in the BPL, and they've played it and it kind of works and quickens the game up. So yeah, I would definitely change that one tomorrow. So
yeah,
that was a good lot of comments on that one. Moving on, then one of the other ones that we're not in favour of, DJ. This was kind of one that you might go off on a little rant on, but it was mentioned.
Was the foot fault one not a rant?
No,
what else have we got for?
This might top it, DJ. Was mentioned quite a lot, actually, and there's a lot of commenting back at people mentioning this one. Getting rid of being able to drive on the bowls green, so no drive shots in our game. Imagine that, DJ. Not being able to throw the ball as hard as you can.
I thought it was bad enough you threw the foot fault rule at me second up, but now you're jumping. Oh, man.
Do you reckon, DJ, that might come from people who maybe can't do a drive shot?
I'm not going to alienate people by saying who I think this might have came from. But, oh, mate, how do you do this politely? That is a massive part of the game. And who determines what a drive shot is?
Exactly. That would be my next question.
Like, you got to sit there. We had this, actually. This came up back in the day, again, referring to short mat quite a lot here, but it came back up in a church hall, and someone was complaining about the drive that was played by my skipper at the time, Mr. Jock. And I'm like, do you want us to sit here with speed guns and say you can't go over a certain speed? Like, what do you want here? Like, why do we need to take the drive out of the game? Why do we need, like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
It's a massive part of the game. So it's a massive part of tactics. And, well, maybe, that rule that I threw up earlier that I do in some of our fun games about being able to respot the jack might eliminate that a bit. But realistically, what is a jack? What is a drive?
Yeah.
Is it just reaching the ditch? Is it banging off the ditch wall? Like, what? Everyone's going to have a different opinion on this. How far does the ball have to turn on its trajectory to not be the class as a drive?
Yeah.
Why did you bring that up, mate? What are you doing to me?
Like, your drive, DJ, would be a lot slower than my drive, to be honest. So who can tell you that? You might think that you're just playing an upshot, DJ.
You are absolutely taking this too far, little fella. This week, honestly, I've been unwell for a week, and you're just poking the bear.
I have to give it to you some weeks. So yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
we'll work on that one, DJ. The next time I'm up in Maitland City, I'll get you on the greens and we'll try and get you speed up with your drive.
Can we live stream this one?
You don't have to take some grass whenever you're driving.
Let's live stream this one with your brand new balls, mate, and see how they go against the banks,
okay. I don't really know if I want to go any more of these ones. There's a couple, like, no dead ends, so that would be sort of moving on to what you said earlier, so that we don't have replaying ends. That would quicken the game up as well. You know,
it quickens the game up, but it takes away from the game, I think. Like, I understand it in certain tournament play when you're on a time limit, like on a real time limit, where you got to get 3 or 4 games in a day and you don't want people finishing 30, 40, 50 minutes behind another team. I can understand that. But when it comes to pennants and that, man, I'm all for it. Like, there's an art to driving.
Yes.
There's a skill to it. It's not just, I can throw it really hard. You got to be accurate too. Like, not everyone wings it down the green like Ryan Besser does.
No.
A lot of us could, but we're not going to hit it as often as Ryan Besser does, are we?
No.
So, like, it's a part of it, and it just, having to have that respot at the tee, or wherever the respot is, it just takes away that extra element of the game. It adds another tactic that's already pretty tactically heavy in terms of the game. Yeah, I'm not for it, mate. I'm not for the respot in certain elements, yes. But yeah, not taking away the drive out of the game, or just saying that you have to respot all the time. I'm not for it. So there's a time and a place, but it's not an everyday play, I don't think.
Yep. Yeah, there was touching on some more. We'll probably not delve into them, but just to give people an idea of the variety of comments that came up. A lot of it was not necessarily rules of the game, but like, for instance, do away with bowls committees. There was even ones, DJ, that removed short bowls from the game. What about that? Any bowls that were short, get rid of them. I think that there wouldn't be some of the games. Maybe there mightn't be no balls left in the green.
Well, are we playing curling now, are we?
Yeah.
Yes, that's a curling rule, isn't it? You have to be so far up. Oh, do me a favor.
Yeah.
I think we might need to move on here, Simon.
I think we will, because you might go off on a little rant. There was one, DJ, though, that I was another one that I thought was a fair comment, and I think I'd be on for this, is roll-ups before the game.
Yeah.
So over here we have a 2-end roll-up usually before pennants or anything like that. But players are out practicing on the green anyway before roll-ups. So I think a really good comment was that we do away with roll-ups and we allot like 30 minutes before the game. All the players can go out, practice as long as they want on whatever rink they want, and no roll-ups, straight into the game. That gives, if you want to go out and have a roll-up, you want to practice for 30 minutes before the game, you can. If you want to go out and throw 2 bowls down and that's it, you can. It's entirely your choice.
Now, here you go, mate. The home team picks the rinks they play on. Okay, so I go to Tarrant Point. I know I'm going to play you on rink 1, or Axe on rink 2, or Razor on rink 3. Okay, I know I'm going to play that. So I'm given 30 minutes to roll up on that exact rink. All right, beforehand. And then, yes, we get straight into the game after that. So you'll have 11:30 to 12. I'll have 12 to 12:30. We'll go in, call the cards or whatever like they do for all the other games, head out by 1:45, get into it, okay? The other element of it is no 30-minute roll-up prior to the game.
Yeah.
And you have your 2 ends, and that's it. There's a lot of overkill on this. So there is. I'd go one way or the other. I'd scrap the 30-minute personally. I'd just go the 2-end roll. That's what we grew up with. Like, don't see any problem with it. Like,
I think the 30-minute rule allows players to have that option of whether they want to roll up or not. So, guys, there might be some guys that go, nah, I don't roll up. That's their choice then. If you have that 30 minutes. Yeah, and so if you have that 30 minutes, you're catering for everyone.
So I'm all for one or the other, right? But I'm going to throw this back at you too. How many people whinge about how long the game takes? I know you want to add an extra 30 minutes to the start of it for a roll-up.
But that's optional.
Yeah, but you still can't start the game until that 30 minutes is up, because some people will take that option to play it.
Yeah, but you're not lengthening the game. You're not lengthening the game.
You're lengthening the amount of time that someone's going to be at the club.
Well, that's up to them. They can rock up 5 minutes before the game and and start. It's entirely their choice, and it's entirely down to their preparation before the game.
Yeah, look, it's a big part of it out here, and a lot of people put a lot of emphasis on that. And like, there is guys will get to the club that bit earlier. They'll get to the club at 5 to 12, so as they get 35-minute roll up. They will chance their arm like that. But yeah, if you're going to do it, I would just say if you're going to do it that way, I would say the home team sets the rinks as to who plays where. The away side skips over and says 1, 2. I'm playing you in a game of pennant, right? You're at home. You tell me, righto, DJ, we're going to be using the rinks 1, 2, and 3. Righto. Well, Simon Mitchell's going to play on 1, Mick Cronin's going to play on 2, Brody Pitman's going to play on 3. I don't care who you've got there. That's the rinks I'm going to play on. I'll get there 30 minutes early. My 12 blokes will roll up on rink 1, 2, 3 the way they're meant to, and the rink that they're going to play on.
Yep.
Okay? I've had my 30 minutes. You've had your 30 minutes. You're playing at home. Then we get straight into it. I'm all for that.
Fair enough.
For that.
Fair enough.
For that. And that would be the whole full hog of how I'd work that rule. On Friday afternoon at the latest what rinks you're going to be playing on Saturday, and as soon as you get to that club, that's the rink you roll on. Everyone's had a chance to roll up on the same rink for 30 minutes, and then you get into the game.
Yeah, look, I think going either way, what you said or what I said, I think is definitely a way forward. Rather than at the moment, we've got kind of a bit of both.
Yeah,
really. Yeah, it's just, where we've got practice and we've got 2-end roll up before a game. So I think. Either way, it would definitely quicken things up a little bit and make it a bit more streamlined, I think, when you're starting games off. Yep.
Yeah, fair enough.
Right. So that's a bit of a overview, DJ, of there's a few more comments we might touch on later episodes might come up. But that was a wide variety of comments. Some good, some bad, some funny, some
ugly.
Not so funny. Ugly, yes. Definitely. And there's quite a lot of essays and writing and all sorts. And that was jump on there, folks. If you've got 12 hours to kill, you can jump on there and read those comments.
Yeah, exactly. And if you've got anything else you want to add, just send it on there too. We'll have a look at it for sure. It's definitely brought a bit of interest. So, yeah. Moving on to the Australian Open, which is kicked off finally.
Yeah,
we had a look at this.
Kicked off.
We're not going to review this one too much this week because the singles is well underway. There's 328 men's sections of 4 and 119 women's sections of 4. They are down to the knockout stages now.
Yeah,
but I think I counted in the men's. There's now 9 knockout stages, so we'll wait till that gets a little bit further along, and so is the pairs and the 4s and stuff. But it is underway. The Australian Open, mate, it's up there on the Gold Coast where it's been now for scared to say, but it's at least 10 years, I'd say. It's definitely a decade. Yeah, so it's definitely a decade. It is massive, mate, and it has got bigger and bigger. I mean, 328 sections of men's singles. You can't get much more than that, surely, to goodness.
1,100 entries, singles in the men. So, yeah, it's huge. Like, it's definitely has to be the biggest bowls tournament in the world, really, DJ, doesn't it? Like,
it's good to see, but it's on that upward it's on the upward trajectory to maxing out type of thing, rather than the novelties wore off and it's starting to dive. I just don't see any reason at this stage to move it from the current format on Broadbeach, Gold Coast, wherever. Just the way it is. Now, I haven't been lucky enough to go and play in it, but you've been up once or twice, haven't you?
Yeah, I have, DJ. Yeah, I went up and played in singles and pairs one year, and yeah, look, I thought it was really, really well run, and no doubt it's bigger and better than the last time I was up there, which was a good few years ago now. I'd love to go up there and play 2 weeks of bowls, but look, you got to balance. Family life, work life, bowls life, and for some of us that don't have careers in bowls and are able to take a lot of time off, work and family definitely comes up there. And if I was to say that I'm going up to spend 2 weeks on the Gold Coast to play bowls and take 2 weeks of annual leave, and that's 2 weeks of family holiday time taken out, I don't think that would sit very well. So, look, I can't justify that either. Like, I play bowls all year round, and most weekends there's something going on, and sometimes it's nice to get a bit of a break too from it all, DJ. Yeah. But definitely, I would look to go up. Maybe in a few years' time, DJ. Maybe we'll head up there with a podcast and do something up there with a podcast. What about that?
That'll be good. Hopefully we're still going in a few years. That'll be good. So, but yeah. But yeah, look, me and you, obviously by those numbers, we're definitely in a minority because there's still plenty of people making that decision to go. And obviously a lot of the bigger names, if they want to be out there for Australian selections or further honours, they're making sure they're in there.
You want to make the latter stages of that and you get your name recognised for sure in that tournament, yeah.
But the biggest thing is too that the fact that Aaron Sheriff and Aaron Wilson and Carl Healy and all those big names are there, and men's and women's game, like it's not turning your average Joe away. I mean, like I know from our area here in the Hunter that there's grade 6, 7, have all gone up there just to play in it for 2 weeks. They're making a holiday out of it. They're going to have a crack. They see it as an opportunity of I might get to play one of the best here.
Yep.
I see them on TV all the time. I might get to play, someone like that there and learn a bit from it. I know one of the guys at the club there, he got the chance to play against Aaron Wilson, so he'll treasure that for a long time.
Yeah.
It's definitely working, mate. And all credit to Bulls Australia and Andrew Howie, I think, does a lot of the organising of that. So well done to them. It's certainly a big event. And
and it's run across a lot of clubs too, DJ, isn't it? Like there's a lot of effort from clubs and volunteers
so much
up
to
there.
The area.
Yeah,
it's bringing so much to the area, and people wins and say, "Oh, but it's there every year," and other places are missing out. But the other places might not be able to run it as well as they do.
Yeah.
Like they might. I was talking to this with the guys at the club today. You think about that? That's 328 sections.
Yeah.
Okay. You need 2 markers per section for that.
Yeah.
That aren't playing in the event. Like that's a heck of a lot of volunteers that you need.
That's a lot of volunteers.
You're not
to do
paying that many
for
markers
singles games. Yeah.
You put that into consideration.
Yeah.
There's so much infrastructure behind it. Like all credit to them. I hope, I hope it continues to grow from strength to strength.
Yeah,
and
so do I, DJ.
Hopefully, if there's any clubs on the Gold Coast that are looking to hire anyone, I might go up there and maybe play on it regularly. I already tried that at Christmas. It didn't quite work.
Maybe we can head up, DJ. We'll definitely go up in the pairs, and maybe we can get 2 other stragglers and knock up a 4s team, and we'll make it up there some year, and we'll have a crack, eh? Hopefully we get a good draw.
I just got to take Jan and the kids with me, otherwise it's just the jealousy sets in and they don't talk to me. So
yeah, I heard they don't talk to you anyway. So
yeah, when they want something. I bet you don't cut that out.
So that's the AO DJ that's kicked off and that's up and running. So yeah, if anyone gets to the latter stages, it's usually live streamed and some good production value on that one,
Fox,
DJ.
On Fox as well. All the finals will be on Fox and KO normally, so it'll be good to see those. And we'll start summing that up when it gets to those stages. But as for now, I think it's just a little bit too much in it for a couple of amateur podcast producers and presenters.
We'll wait to get down to the nitty gritty, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah. All right, mate. On to another contentious topic: selections. Bulls New South Wales released their selections this week for the New South Wales statesides. Yeah. Men's and women's under 25s, men's and women's over 40s, men's and women's seniors, and of course the big ones, the men's and women's opens.
Yeah.
Not too many surprises in there, I don't think, Simon.
Not really. As soon as it was released and I had a scan down of the names, nothing really popped up as, ooh, how did they get in? Really. But
they've all done something recently.
Yeah, they all got their name out there. They've won something. They've, performed well in the big stages. So, yeah, I think it's not really anything surprising there and pretty strong side. And, yeah, I would say that our boys, New South Wales and girls, will be up there as some of the favourites to take on the rest of the states whenever they do.
Big ask, especially in the men's from last year. I think they dropped 1 rank throughout the whole Ali Shield, so it was always going to be a hard side to break into. And there's obviously going to be those that are disappointed, and you could probably, in all honesty, the strength of depth's that big around here. Probably name another 10 players that will feel very aggrieved at not making that side. And there's probably, there's probably a couple of young fellas there at Cabramatta, maybe a bit hard done by, just for the fact they've got some bigger names there and they have spread it out.
Yeah.
But certainly an interesting one, mate. The only thing that bugs me around it is there's a couple of glaring omissions there, and we won't name the names, but there's a couple of glaring omissions there that people might be sitting at home thinking, well, cheapers, why are they not picked? Why are they not picked? And there's reasons why they're not picked.
Yeah. Well,
there's at least 3 of them have made the decision that it's not for them anymore. For whatever reasons, they've decided to take a year away or retire from the sport. And these people have all played 100+ caps for New South Wales.
Yep.
And I haven't seen one post about any of them saying, thank you for your service, congratulations. This person has retired or this person's taken a year off. All right?
Yeah.
And even in the women's as well. Like there is a big omission in the women's.
Yeah.
And I don't see Ellen's name there.
Yeah.
There's people like that have done a lot for the state, done a lot for Australia. Like they should be given some sort of recognition as to why they're not in there. Like celebrate the people that have been made, but celebrate the people that have given up the time, shown that dedication to represent. I'm a bit disappointed by that. I'm not too sure if the players are, but it's just one thing that, as soon as I'm whinging a lot in this podcast, it's one thing that I picked up on. I've just gone, well, yeah, there's 3 people there. Okay. One of them was interviewed on the podcast not long ago. But there's nothing. They've made a decision that they don't want to play anymore for whatever reason. And if it is just, family, I'm retired, whatever it is, or I'm going to take this year away, I'm going to come back next year. Put a post up about it. Like celebrate your stars.
Yeah, it would have been a nice touch, really, just to recognise that.
So.
If the players do want that recognised, that's always.
I think so.
Look, I think you mentioned there Ali Shield for any of our international listeners. That Ali Shield is competition between all the states, so all the other states will put out field their best teams as well, and they all compete against each other
for second place because New South Wales are going to win it.
Yeah, that's it. Go the Blues. Like that.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, DJ, did you watch State of Origin?
I did. It was a tough watch.
For how long?
I watched the full game, mate. I didn't give up. But there's a certain Sharky player there I don't think should be pulling that jersey on again.
You're a better man than me because I turned it over after 30 minutes. So
yeah, but you've got
your attention span watching the rest of that watching. So
yeah,
better luck next time, I think. Let's see how they go in second game 2. Yeah.
So that's not the only selections that have happened recently, mate. Looking back at home, I had a quick look. Speaking about selections and being contentious and stuff, you played an interzone there a week or so ago.
Yep.
The inter-associations, which we grew up aspiring to play in back at home, was played between our 4 associations. Each association picks 5 rinks, so 20 players to go and play. Yep. The provincial towns won that one.
Mm-hmm.
Three wins. Then our selectors got together and picked their 18 players that are going to go away and represent Ireland at the British Isles International Series. And only 3 of those were from that provincial towns team that won the whole event. Only 3 from that 20 made it in.
Okay, so that's say the equivalent of, say, the New South Wales state side. Say you pick 18 for Australia, it'd be saying that only 3 from New South Wales got picked for that 18, and they were and they say they won the Ali Shield and were undefeated or whatever, and you only picked 3 players from that side. That's the equivalent of what you're saying happened.
Yeah, so it just goes to show you just never know. It's always contentious issue selections.
I think that is, and that's one of the things in our game that I don't know what the answer is really, DJ, because it's always going to be contentious because what somebody thinks about somebody and how they play will be completely different to the next person and what they think how they play. So it's all
down to people and individual opinions, isn't it? So
it's a real grey area and it's difficult.
Yeah, it is. It is. You're just defending the Irish selectors so you make a pick sometime down the track, whereas I gave up a long time ago, mate, so I'll just say what I want.
Oh, it's nice of you to think that I could actually be picked again, DJ.
No. I said you hope you could. We all have to have dreams, Simon, even no matter how far-fetched they may be. But yes. But staying on the theme of selections, mate, Bulls Australia have announced their 2 newest franchises of the BPL.
Oh,
so they've expanded from 10. They've expanded from 10 teams to 12 teams, welcoming in the Sydney Saints, which is based out of St John's Park.
Yep.
And Geelong Jets, which has caused a bit of a ruckus. But they're based down there in Victoria. I think there's a couple of clubs have combined for that one. Matty Flopper's one of the big names behind that one. So it's the 2 new franchises coming in to Pine Rivers later in the year. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. And it's certainly generated some conversation on Facebook. Yeah,
well, I'm glad they've expanded it to start with, DJ. I think that, a few more teams in there and sort of spreading that brand of the BPL around different states and a few more teams here and there can only drive a bit more interest and more players sort of are spectators and bowlers out there getting interested in the BPL. So it can only increase. Maybe I'd like to have seen maybe a bit more maybe from an international perspective, DJ, to try and push it beyond the waters of Australia would have been a good call, I think.
Well, I had a look at it because it's something that we've talked about at the club down the track, and one of the stipulations is you want to have internationally recognised players. So they're hoping to get a few more overseas players coming across and playing. Like, obviously, there's a few that are already here, but they want to try and bring some other ones out there, some household names.
Yeah.
But so I think they are trying to do it that way.
Look, I know, like that will obviously attract a few more international players. But imagine if you had a UK-based team that came over and played. Like, the interest that just having a UK-based team coming over and playing, the whole the energy around that, I think would drive sort of spectator numbers and people tuning in from the UK, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see 2 extra teams added in.
Have you seen some of the comments on Facebook?
Oh, well, after our comments from our post, DJ, I took a bit of a break from social media because the notification on my phone was blowing up, but I didn't really see what was going on.
There's obviously a few other clubs out there feel a bit aggrieved by those that have made it in, but I'm sure BA's done their selection process with due diligence and pick what they think's the best teams. But just because you pick a mascot for your club doesn't mean that you own that mascot either. So it's caused a bit of contention. But obviously, people wanted to be in it, want to be involved, and have missed out, and they've taken it out on social media like people do. But
look, it wouldn't be Bowls, DJ, if there wasn't opinions. Nah. So that's part and parcel of our game, isn't it? Really, and that's
I'm sure the powers
of be, isn't it? Really, DJ?
Exactly, mate. I'm sure the powers of be at Bowls Australia are kicking themselves, saying, "Oh, we should have put those people in. Maybe next time." So
yeah.
But yeah, it's certainly as everything in the sport, including our post last week, it certainly has generated a few opinions around the place, mate. So it has.
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting to see how that develops.
Yeah, we'll be tuning in and watching the BPL and looking forward to it kicking off. So, yeah, we'll definitely do a bit of podcast coverage of the BPL once it kicks off, and it's usually well received, DJ. And I think the whole the way they've branded it and the way they play the games, obviously they've changed the format, shortened it up a bit, and I think just the general energy around it is really good. And in terms of even just you watch some highlights reels, jump onto YouTube and just type in BPL highlights. The way they put together some of those reels, it's really exciting. And yeah, I'll be tuning in to see it when it kicks off again.
The reels certainly are good, man. It adds that extra dimension, like you said, and it goes to show how you can promote the game with some decent live streaming and things they got there. Unlike World Bowls, Simon from Guernsey.
Yeah, maybe World Bowls need to tune in and watch the BPL and not use a fishbowl effect and no commentary. Oh yeah, that'll be good.
It's good to see you've got over that one.
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Right, mate. So we're almost done for this one. We'll just jump into Coach's Corner for a little bit. It's quite a popular section, so we'll make sure we keep that going a bit. What tips have you got this week, buddy, for those playing in the Australian Open and those that have maybe got some other events coming up soon? What tips have you got for them to improve their game in these coming weeks?
Yeah, that's fair, DJ. If you're away at a tournament or an event like the AO, obviously you're going to play a lot of games. Well, hopefully you're going to play a lot of games. You get a minimum of 3 in each discipline, so you could be playing 9 games over, a short space of a few days. And I think keeping hydrated is definitely key, DJ. Up on the Gold Coast, nice and sunny all the time. Hopefully the weather's good, but sometimes that's neglected, and that definitely has a factor in your thinking. So obviously clear thinking on the green is also key to a good performance. So hydrated in terms of the H2O, not the alcohol type, DJ.
I was about to say the two things that you just picked up on there, hydration and clear thoughts, is completely against the culture of bowls in Australia with the amount of alcohol being consumed.
No, I think there's a lot of aspiring bowlers out there that don't go and drink schooners at 9 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, I think.
Yeah, well, I've never done that, and I haven't aspired too far, have I?
I've seen a few on my time over here. So definitely, you're going up there to play a lot. Hopefully, a good few bowls. So hydration, getting plenty of sleep at night, that can be neglected too. We go away for some events and tournaments, DJ, and some guys stay up late. But I actually think over this last few years, I have noticed a change in that kind of culture, DJ. whenever we go away. I think players, even at a regional level, not necessarily going to the state or international level, even at a regional level, are definitely taking that a bit more seriously. So, yeah, definitely a good night's sleep can go a long way to a clear head and thinking on the green the next day. So, hydration, plenty of sleep. And the last tip, DJ, mainly directed against those players that are going to maybe play against the superstars of our sport, the Aaron Wilsons, the Gary Kellys. I think you enjoy it. You've got to go out there and have a bit of fun with it and learn what you can off those players. Like, they will be humble playing against you, and you just got to pick up everything you can in terms of how they interact on and off the green as well. That's a lot of it. Put your best foot forward, and the bigger they are, the harder they fall, DJ. So you never know. You never know.
There you go. If you want a few tips on getting under Gary Kelly's skin, Simon at thebullsacademy.com. Well, that'll do us for this week, I think, Simon. Hopefully next week we'll have a bit more to talk about with that Australian Open. Look at a few other things that are going on around the place, and we might get that GOAT debate started, mate, that we've been talking about. So we'll start talking about the GOATs of all the different countries that play, maybe. But that's something that we've been talking about behind the scenes. We wouldn't mind bringing up, so maybe that can come up over the next couple of weeks. But thanks again, folks, for tuning in. As always, all those comments, keep them coming. Keep an eye on the social pages for any other interesting questions we might throw out there, looking for some responses. Simon's got a few up his sleeve. Likes to be controversial, that little fella.
Yeah, I do have a few more, DJ. So, yeah, follow us on our social media, and those will come up over the next few weeks. There's a few more questions that are in the pipeline. So, yeah, add your comments onto that. Yep, definitely. Yep.
And so if you've ever been offended by anything on this podcast, Simon sends his apologies.
I usually don't offend people. You're the one that offends people. So
I didn't know. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Don't believe that at all. Anyway, thanks again, folks. Hope you all enjoyed it, and we will see you all next week. But just remember, keep that little disc on the inside, especially at the Australian Open.
Yep. Good luck on the greens, everyone, and we'll catch you next week.